October 23rd, 1642. The Battle of Edgehill was the first and one of the most brutal conflicts of the English Civil Wars. The clash of steel on steel. The cries of war. And ghostly drums still linger in the air, echoing through the centuries. Hello everyone! Today we're walking through Edgehill's haunting history and haunted legends. This is not just a ghost hunt, it's a journey into one of the bloodiest moments in English history. This brutal conflict saw Charles I's royalists clash with the parliamentarians in a fight for control of the kingdom. On one side we have the royalists, commanded by the king's cousin. On the other one, we have the parliamentarians, led by the Earl of Essex. The battle was fought here in the rolling hills of Warwickshire between the villages of Kyneton and Radway, with Charles I watching the battle from somewhere around here. The Castle Inn was erected as a folly to commemorate the battle, and it stands near the site of Charles I's headquarters on the crest of Edgehill. But what led to the battle in the first place? The English Civil Wars were a result of a bitter power struggle between Charles I and Parliament. Charles believed in a divine right of kings, insisting that he should rule without interference. He repeatedly clashed with Parliament over taxation. Religious tension also played a role as Charles tried to impose the Anglican practices in Scotland, sparking the Bishop Wars following the signing of the National Covenant in Greyfriars Kirkyard in 1638. Further draining his resources, well, it was an utter mess. In 1642, Charles attempted to arrest 5 members of Parliament, and at that stage, war was unavoidable. The battle raged for hours. Over 1,000 men lost their lives and thousands more were wounded. The battlefield was covered with the dead and the dying. The cries filling the cold and wet October air. Neither side emerged victorious, setting the stage for years of bloody conflict to follow. Now, shortly after the battle, this is when the sightings started. Shepherds in the area were witnessing something strange in the night. A battle reenactment in the sky. A few people, overcome with fear, went to the Justice of the Peace, William Wood, who insisted that what they witnessed had to be repeated under oath. Wood, Reverend Marshall, and a few villagers accompanied the shepherds to investigate, and according to the legends, they legged it. News of the spectral battle reached Charles I, and he dispatched Colonel Kirk along with some captains and soldiers to investigate. This led to the only recognized haunting in a public record office, as the official commission confirmed the sightings. I think that this might be the first official record of an investigation in the supernatural. Gives me goosebumps. In an effort to lay the spirits to rest, they gave the corpses a Christian burial. The dead were buried in 2 mass graves, one on the royalist side and one on the parliamentarian side on a battlefield. And yet, from the day of the battle to Christmas Day, every year, eerie screams, ghostly drums and horses galloping can still be heard, as if the Battle of Edgehill is fought again and again. I met a local who said to me that there is a reason why this is called Red Road. The reason why it's called the Red Road is because this is where the Parliamentarian army marched all the way from Warwick, where they were stationed. They met the royalists coming from the other side, and it ended in a bloodbath. And they died right here where we are now. Now, the battlefield is just ahead. There is a certain point where I'm told that we cannot go because it is MOD land, but let's go and have a look. So Charles would have been looking down on the battle from up there. That is where Edgehill is. So there you can actually see the buildings there. He would have been up there looking down on a battle. Imagine these fields filled with approximately 29,000 men. With so many dead, what happened to the bodies? Well, they were mostly interred in 2 mass graves here on the battlefield. Their names just lost to history, while others were laid to rest in nearby churchyards like Kyneton and Radway. Churches and houses in the nearby villages became makeshift hospitals for the wounded. The injured that could not be saved often died in the houses or in the hallowed halls of the churches where they were kept. Unfortunately, the mass grave is past the gate, and as you can see, it is at risk of explosion, so it's not a good idea. But I can give you the next best thing. Did you hear that?
Yeah. You might want to come back in here.
Well, we are not on MOD land here.
Yeah, but you might want to come back in here. Seriously, get back in here.
Okay.
Get back in here and drive away.
What the actual fudge? I'm sure it comes from the farm, or maybe from the MOD. I don't see any battle in the sky. That is a good sign, I think.
This is the MOD land where you cannot get access.
As I said before, there is a memorial on top of the mound where all the bodies were buried. They have installed one on a side of the road near the battle site. It's about 2 miles off, and here it is. Ghosts or no ghosts, one thing is certain: the past refuses to be forgotten here. Well, you guys, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please give us a thumb up, and I shall see you in the next one. Thank you for watching.